from a coffee cherry to a coffee bean, a wildcat called a luwak eats coffee cherries, but it can't really digest the coffee cherries. It ferments the coffee cherry into a finished product called the civet. The civet has a smooth and chocolatey flavor. The berry itself comes out from the luwak's poop, and they take that poop and make it into a coffee bean. It's a pretty expensive coffee bean. It goes for $600 per pound. So coffee is the most second traded item in the world, following from oil being the first. Even if you don't even like coffee, sniffing the coffee beans will help you wake up. Today I'll be talking about how coffee has influenced our history and how it has formed a culture behind it. Also, how coffee, consuming it, has its positive and negative health benefits. I'm incredible because I work in a coffee shop myself for almost a year now, so I'm kind of forced to learn what is coffee and how to make coffee, but I really just don't care. First, I'll be discussing the origins of the coffee. Second, I'll be discussing the health benefits of coffee, and the third, I'll be talking about coffee culture. So coffee was first discovered by an Ethiopian goat herder. The goats were eating the coffee berries, and the Ethiopian goat herder couldn't sleep at night, and because the goats were just playing around at night. The first cultivation and consumption of coffee first started in the Arabian Peninsula in the 15th century. First started the early coffee houses, where people used the coffee houses to exchange information and just to relax. But coffee first had its big break in Europe. First reaction to coffee was that it was a bitter invention of Satan, and people did not like coffee. It caused quite a controversial topic that the Pope at the time had to try the coffee itself and gave its approval because he enjoyed it so much. According to Tori Avey, a PBS food blogger, coffee first got its movement in America due to the Boston Tea Party Act in 1773, when coffee was seen as a patriotic duty to go against the Tea Party. And now that the average American now drinks 2.1 cups of coffee per day, according to the Huffington Post, a survey was conducted to avid coffee drinkers that 55% of coffee drinkers would rather gain 10 pounds than to give up a cup of coffee, and also that 75% of Americans that consume caffeine comes from a cup of coffee. Now that I discussed the history of coffee, I'll now discuss the health benefits and health risks of drinking coffee. According to the Medical News Today, medical and pharmaceutical news outlet, coffee also reduces Alzheimer's disease by 20%. And according to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, drinking 4 cups or more of coffee helps you reduce type 2 diabetes by 30%, and also helps reduce weight gain. According to the National Institute of Health, caffeine is it's like a legal stimulant drug, and people can get really addicted to it. And also that if you drink 100 cups of coffee a day, you can die from caffeine overdose. Now that I talked about the health benefits and risks of coffee, I'll be discussing the coffee culture. According to Time magazine, a survey was conducted for the avid coffee drinker that they spend at least $1,100 a year on coffee alone. And personal experience in the coffee culture is that people are really technical with their coffee. They demand like a certain milk and a certain degree of the coffee. And it's also a place where people go on their first dates, and they also just go there to study as well. So in conclusion, the discovery and consumption of coffee has changed our world, whether we know it or not, and also has its good and bad health effects while consuming it.